Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about RAG evaluation, which stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation Evaluation. When we evaluate a RAG system, there are four key metrics we focus on. First is context precision. It measures whether the retrieved information is actually useful. Second, context recall. Measure whether the system retrieved all the important piece of information. Third is faithfulness. It measures whether the answer stays grounded in the retrieved context. Last one is answer relevance. It measures whether the answer correctly addresses the user question. By looking at these four metrics together, we can understand how well a RAG system retrieves and generates reliable, accurate, and useful information. First, we go to context precision. This is measure how much of the retrieved context is actually relevant. In other words, it evaluates the quality of what the system retrieved. For example, the system retrieved 5 chunks. Only chunk 2 and chunk 4 are actually relevant. Using the formula, context precision equal to relevance retrieved chunk divided total retrieved chunk. So 2 divided 5 equal to 0.4, which is 40%. This means 40% of the retrieved information is relevant, while the remaining 60% is noise or irrelevant data. Lower precision means that more noise, less useful information. But higher precision means that most retrieved information is correct and relevant. Next, we go to context recall. It's about a coverage. It measures how much of the relevant information is successfully retrieved from the total available context. For example, assume there are 5 relevant chunks of information. The system retrieves only 3 chunks, which is chunk 2, chunk 4, and chunk 5. Using the formula, context recall equal to retrieved relevant chunk divided total relevant chunk. So 3 divided 5 equal to 0.6 is 60%. This means the system captures 60% of the relevant information but missed 2 important chunks. A higher context recall means the system retrieves most or all of the important information. A lower context recall means the system missed key information. Next, we continue to talk about the answer relevance. This is evaluate how well does the answer address the question. Higher answer relevance means the response directly and clearly answer the user question without adding unnecessary or unrelated information. In this example, the question asks, who is the current Prime Minister of Malaysia? The answer is, the current Prime Minister of Malaysia is Anwar Ibrahim. This answer has high relevance because it directly answers the question, provided the exact information requested. Stay focused without extra details. But if the system answers the question like this, Anwar Ibrahim is the Prime Minister of Malaysia and has had a long political career. This will let the answer relevance lower. Last, we talk about the faithfulness. Faithfulness is measured whether the answer is accurate and supported by the retrieved context without adding any hallucinated or unsupported information. In this example, retrieved context is Anwar Ibrahim was appointed as the 10th Prime Minister of Malaysia on November 24, 2022. The generated answer is the current Prime Minister of Malaysia is Anwar Ibrahim. The answer is highly faithful because it is fully supported by the retrieved context and does not introduce any incorrect or additional information. That is for today's video on RAG evaluation. Remember, when we talk about RAG system, it's not just about getting an answer. It's about getting the right answer from the right context and make sure it actually answers the question. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.